What's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? Nice green day yet again. You love to see that, guys. You love to see it. Bitcoin continuing to put in those higher highs and higher lows. We'll see how long my voice lasts today. Usually only lasts about 2 or 3 minutes. Let's see if we can get through a whole stream without my voice giving out on me here. All right, so Bitcoin looking good, sitting at 94.8 right now. We got as high as about 95.8, which was nice. Like 45 minutes ago, half an hour ago, we were back up over 95.4. So the bulls are pushing, guys. Where are we going to close this candle? Can we get up and close above 95K? That's what I want to see. Can we close above 95K? That would be super fantastic. Do it. Do it now. All right, what do we got? Amazing coins first. Ha. Where you at, you boy? How you feeling, Rafa? I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm still, honestly, guys, still recovering. It's physically exhausting to talk for some reason. It takes a lot of energy to push out words. I don't know why, but yeah. So I'm still pretty bad, but I'd say I'm about 80%. William, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. WF Capital, my guy. Zebek in the house. Hell yeah. Hugo, long time no see. Hope you're well. I'm good, man. Where you been hiding, brother? Where you been hiding? H. Barbarina in the house. What's going on, man? Devin, hope you're feeling better, Rob. Can't wait for Open Mic Friday for Zebek to take off. Yes, it is Open Mic Friday on the Patreon tonight, guys. Make sure you guys are there for that. You do not want to miss it. It's like nothing you have experienced before. No one is doing what we're doing over on the Patreon, guys. It's a lot of fun. And as always, guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Helps the channel grow. Doesn't cost you a single nickel. Not a single nickel. Not a penny, not a dime, nothing, niente. So go ahead, click it, like, subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. John, blessings, my brother. Go Leafs, go. 3-0 series lead with the Sens. Let's not jinx it, brother. Let's not jinx it, man. Things are looking good. Joy, happy Friday, Rob, and future Army. Hope everyone's doing good today. Rob, thank you as always for the great content. Hit the likes, everyone. Absolutely, Joy. Thank you so much for being here. Moonwell's doing well. I see what you did there. Can we have a look at the latest charts? I could do that for you, I suppose. I reckon I could do that. Moonwell chart. Moonwell chart. Uno momento, por favor. Yeah, Moonwell, very similar to everything else, is in a descending channel here, and has been for quite some time, right? I mean, one could really go back all the way to here, really. You could go all the way back there, but if we're just bringing it locally here, what you're looking at is the current breakout, right? You've got a breakout taking place. So yeah, I mean, we could potentially retest this trend line before continuing to the upside, but yeah, it's looking good right now. Typically, I'd say 60% of the time we end up retesting the trend line to confirm the breakout before we go, but doesn't necessarily have to happen. So we are moving up here. Absolutely fantastic. We could see a nice run out of Moonwell. Absolutely. One of my favorite projects. Pot. What? Babes, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Jeremiah, Pikachu in the house. What's up? We got our first Pokemon of the day. Got to catch them all, baby. Morty, Rob, hope you're morning. Hope your vocal cords recovered like Zebek. I'm still paying buying people's fear. Yes. Listen, guys, it's a little surprising to me that we see people making the same mistakes over and over and over again, right? just 2 months ago, people were terrified. Not even 2 months ago, people were terrified about Jasmy. Same thing, right? They started panic selling at the lows, right? Panic sell, panic sell. Oh my God, I'm emotional, right? And guess what's happened here, right? Guess what's happened here? We have our breakout on Jasmy, just like I said we would have, right? Just like we said we'd have in this falling wedge pattern. We've had our breakout to the upside. We had a little bit of a consolidation, and now we're going up again, right? From the bottom of this before the break, when the breakout started, we're up 97%. 97%. We're up. And the breakout's just getting started. It's just getting started, right? So if you really look at this, you've got a mini bull flag going on here, right? Textbook bull flag. You're breaking out of the bull flag now. Back here, guys, people were panic selling because of some Binance fears and FUD, right? They were panic selling. And now look what we told you guys. We're going to recover. Don't worry about it. Here we are. People are doing the same people who did that with Jasmy and are now missing out on the Jasmy run are doing the exact same thing on ZBIC right now. They're emotionally panic selling it over the last couple days. And then what's going to happen? ZBIC is going to go on a monster run, and they're going to miss that as well. And they're going to be upset, right? Look at this. For those that panic sold this was the panic selling over these 3 days. We fully recovered that in one candle, right? So if you panic sold this, like, you got to stop making the same mistakes over and over and over again. You got to start having more conviction in your investments, right? Every single time you hear something negative about a project, you can't just panic sell and bail out of it, right? Sometimes, yes, but it's not often. 9 times out of 10, in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, the negative stuff you're hearing about a project and having people panic sell is usually misleading, right? And usually either a temporary thing or it's misinformation, right? So you have to learn to do your research. You have to learn to have conviction in your own investments, for crying out loud. Some moron online shouldn't be able to shake you out of your investment. Be better than that, right? Be a better investor than that. You have to remember that any moron can hop online and say any dumb thing they want. That doesn't mean it should be able to shake you out of your convictions, right? That's why doing research matters so much, guys. Dadsky, what's up, man? Feeling better. I'm about 80%. Jake the Snake, Roberto. Can't wait to have my money for a house this year. Yes, absolutely, man. These next 5 months are going to be delicious, man. Delicious. Absolutely, baby. Absolutely. The voice is already starting to go. You see, guys? Bell Center's going to be rocking tonight. Go Habs, go. Your Leafs are on a wagon. Yeah. My father-in-law is actually a big Habs fan. We were talking about that this morning. And I told him, I said, man, Bell Center's going to be electric tonight, guys. It's going to be electric. I'm watching the game for sure. I'm a Leafs guy, but you know what? Like, I don't even care. I don't even care what team it is, guys. Listen, I could be watching Dallas, Colorado, which thrills no Canadian out there anywhere, right? 2 good teams, yes. But watching home games there and watching the crowd and the thunderous, it's, man, goosebumps every single time, man. Goosebumps. What an environment. Moonwell puts up a rally cap. Yes. Put its rally cap. Yes, absolutely, brother. 16.8% up. XYO having itself a fantastic, up 50% on the day, guys. Fantastic. Rod, D-Man is back. You will break that. Well, yeah, that resistance level. Yeah, the voice is still, it's getting rejected off resistance right now. The voice is failing. I'm moving back to the downside. A little bit of a correction, consolidation, Jesse James, Super excited for this weekend. I think we will have a green one. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right, because last weekend was weird. I mean, even though I told you guys it was going to happen, I said it was going to be a sideways weekend, but I didn't know it was going to be that sideways. Like, I'm talking, hang on. I'm talking Bitcoin ranged in like a $1,000 range. Like, it was tight. There was no volume. Daryl, sounding better, Rob. Enjoying seeing some of my investments going green. Yes, absolutely, man. Guys, I want you guys to think back for a moment, just for a moment, okay? Think back for a second here. 2 weeks ago, we were down here, okay? And I really want you to take this in, okay? Because it's important. This is a very crucial learning moment, okay? When we were down here at 74K, we were down in this area, even over here, even up here, okay? We heard so many large channels. I was watching Crypto Banter, one of the biggest YouTube channels for crypto, and he was telling everybody down here that the bull run was over. We were going into a bear market. I was watching him say it, right? Said we were going down to 60K, probably lower, even potentially 50. Like, guys, these channels don't know what they're talking about. They just say whatever gets them clicks. That's how they got so big, because they just say whatever is popular at that time. What's trending, pumping or dumping, right? And then they talk about it and they get clicks and they get subscribers. What's important, guys, I don't do that stuff. I tell you the truth. And the truth, I guess, isn't always popular. When everyone's talking about a bear market right here and we're going down, I told you guys, what did I tell you guys? We were coming up here, right? And then here, look at the bull pennant that I put. You guys remember this, right? I told you out of the bull pennant, we're coming up over 90 to 91K. Here we are. I tell you the truth. I don't bullshit you to get clicks, right? When we were up here, you guys remember when we were up here? What was I telling you guys? I was telling you guys to save your dry powder because we're going down to 69 to 74K. You guys that have been here, you remember me saying all of this, right? And a lot of you guys kept your dry powder and utilized it down here, and you're making a lot of money right now, right? That's what we do here, right? So, but I want you guys to remember the sentiment in the market down here was in the gutter, right? Everybody, even on the Patreon, people were doom and gloom. People were depressed. Oh, we're going down. Are we ever going to recover? Remember we were joking, guys, when I was saying people are asking me if the markets are ever going to recover. Remember I was saying, nope, markets are never going to recover. We're just going down forever now. Investing is not a thing in humanity anymore. Markets are just done, right? The ridiculous question. And so remember that negativity down here, guys, right? Now what's going on right now? A bunch of positivity is coming, and that's good. That's good. But remember what I always say: when things are down bad, they're never as bad as they seem, and when they're good, they're never as good as they seem, right? That's why I tell you guys that stuff. So it's important to remember this stuff, guys, so that you can look back the next time we do this. You can look back and go, yeah, but you know what? Last time we recovered, I remember, and we're going to recover again, right? Store this memory in your head, lock it up for the next time you're feeling foolish and stuff like that. You'll remember, right? For some reason, my clicker's not working here. Sorry, guys. Hang on a second. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Mike. Hey, Rob, can you check the ticker syrup? Canadian crypto. You're talking about Maple, right? Is it Maple? Yeah, it's had itself quite a run there over the last week. It's not really a double top. You do have a level of resistance right here, though. As you can see, I mean, yeah, plainly obvious, but as you can see here, right? You've bounced off it here. You rejected off it here multiple times and wicked back down. You touched it here. You touched it here. So Yeah, you're rejecting off of it again. The good news is that you've touched it. You're going to have another solid touch, though, in my opinion. You're probably going to come down more. You're probably going to retest this line a little bit down the road again. The third touch could see your breakthrough. I like to see at least 3 touches before we see a confirmation of a breakout. So, yeah, looks okay. Looks okay, but there's not much history here, though. That's the thing, right? So, whoop whoop, Jasmine, let's go. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, what's good, man? How likely is it you think Jasmine hits 20%? Very likely. Very likely. Paul, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. A little bit better every day, man. A little bit better every day. Rob, man, He-Man of crypto, even sick, leading us to glory by the power of blockchain. I have the power. Ryan, what's up, buddy? Grok is wild. Took a picture of the Bitcoin chart and asked Grok for a prediction. Pretty cool, man. We have something better, though. We have Rob. Nice. There you go. I like that. Cryptus, what's going on? Hey, Rob, sounding better. Let's get this money. Amen. Amen to that. May's going to be a mega month for Jasmine. The My Number card system coming up. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. People sleeping on it, man. Paul, what's up, buddy? You mentioned that it can be hard to convert your coins to stable coins when we cash out. Could you explain this? Cheers. Yes, Paul. What I say when I say that is that, listen, if you don't know how to identify where liquidity is in the market, i.e., if you don't know how to identify when the sell orders or the buy orders are outnumbering the sell orders, you're going to get screwed. And people who are new to crypto have said this smart ass comment, and it's funny because they're going to get wrecked. They say, I'll just use the convert option or the swap option, right? Like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's the exact same thing as selling. It's the same thing as putting in a sell order. It's just making putting in a sell order user friendly. Essentially, that's all it is. It's disguising it as something else, making it a swap. If your sell orders are not going to fill, using the swap or convert is not going to fill either, right? And the reason for that is because no one's buying. People have this misunderstanding that if you use the convert or swap option on an exchange or a DEX, that somehow the exchange is buying back your crypto from you, right? How sustainable does that sound as a business model to you if you're new to crypto, that you're going to sell crypto to retail investors at low prices and then buy it back from them at a 2000x? Does that sound like a good business model to you, right? That's not how it works. There has to be a buyer on the other end of that sell order, even if you're using the swap or convert option, right? That's not a workaround. It's not a cheat to get out of having a buyer for your sell order, right? I don't know why some people think that. Like, yes, you're the person who figured out the cheat code to get your sell orders to fill when no one else could over, the entire history of crypto. You figured it out. It's the swap feature, right? So, sorry, Paul. I'm not being sarcastic towards you. I'm just saying there is no cheats, guys. If you do not know how to exit this market, and there's so many new people that think that they know how and they just don't, right? Probably, I would say about 60 to 70% of the people over on the Patreon have told me privately that one of the reasons that they joined the community is because they were here in the last cycle and their sell orders quite simply didn't fill, right? And they're still holding crypto from 2021 because they had no idea what they were doing. They thought that they had it figured out. They didn't seek help. They didn't seek education, and they got screwed. And it burnt 4 years of wealth out of their lives, right? Because of that, because they thought they were smarter than the market. There's a reason that 90 to 95% of new people in crypto either break even or don't make money. It's because they're naive and ignorant enough to think that they're smarter than the market, that they can figure it out on their own, and then they get wrecked and they either sell at a loss, hold for 4 more years, or
call crypto a scam and leave, right? It's simple. Stop being lazy, get educated. I don't even care if it's by my Patreon or somebody else's, right? Get an education, for crying out loud, right? Stop just thinking you can come into this space, throw in a couple of G bars, and come back in a few months and be a millionaire. Yeah, does life-changing wealth really seem like it's that easy to attain? Or do you think maybe you got to put in just a little bit of work, right? So, um, sorry to go off on a little bit of a tangent there, but it's staggering to me how many people think that they're just going to stumble and bumble their way through this and become a multimillionaire. It's crazy to me, right? It's not how it works. You need to get educated properly in this space, guys, for crying out loud. Join our Patreon. We train you over there, or join somebody else's. Just freaking learn, right? That's all I'm saying. Strawberry Dragons, Rob is the best in this space. It's getting exciting. Thank you for continued updates, even when you have no voice. What are you talking about? I got a voice. I got the Stone Cold Steve Austin voice, and that's the bottom line. Our Heath, Ramona. Hey, wealthy weirdos, like, subscribe, and join the Patreon. Yes, Ramona, I feel like I haven't seen you in like a month. I don't know. I feel like I've been away so long. Oh, man. All right. Rant over. By the way, the link to our Patreon, guys, it's in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the description. If you want to learn how to create your exit strategies, set your sell orders, take profits, and roll profits into other projects properly, and you want to learn how to identify where liquidity is in the markets, come on over to the Patreon. We're more than happy to help you, right? Your voice isn't going. You're just being possessed by the pro wrestler, by that pro wrestler you keep mentioning. You sound like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, absolutely. Stone Cold's coming for you. Do you watch the FIFA World Cup? I'm going to be in Canada. Yeah. No, I don't watch soccer. I don't watch soccer. Wise mind, what's going on? Hey, Rob. Dang, I sold when market was down. I don't believe you for a second. Oh, Squirtle's in the house. Green tea. 2 Pokemon. We got to catch them all, baby. Got to catch them all. 2 down. How many more can we get? Let's freaking go. Anonymous, BTC definitely needs to consolidate for a couple of days. It feels like it's over leveraged. Well, I mean, I agree with you. It wouldn't be terrible. Oh, you know what? It just dawned on me that I was doing TA on syrup and I had Bitcoin on the screen. That was like 20 minutes ago. Sorry. Anyway, let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. So yeah, looking at Bitcoin, yeah, it kind of in a way is consolidating, right? I mean, it kind of is. I wouldn't be terribly disappointed to see us just range here over the weekend, right? Come back down here tomorrow, do this till Monday or Tuesday, and then rip to the upside. That would be perfect, right? That would be perfect. So I agree with you. A little bit of consolidation, a little bit of a cool down. But look what's happening though. Every time we try to come down, right, to cool off, the bulls just buy it right up. Look at these long wicks to the downside. There's so much buying pressure still on Bitcoin. It's showing so much strength right now, which is super fantastic. Ramona, the tiny cost of Rob's membership will be returned to you 100-fold if you listen to his wisdom. Yes, thank you so much, Ramona. And also, I have a video, another real talk, backyard patio talk video coming out this afternoon, guys, because there's something I want to talk about here. And it's about similar to what you just said, Ramona. The key word there is if you listen to his wisdom, right? And the video I'm going to put out this afternoon, we're going to be discussing that not everybody's going to make it, guys. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? I'm going to tell you why in the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that video today. It's going to be a splash of cold water, guys, but you guys know me. I like to throw that splash of cold water at you once in a while, keep you tethered to reality, right? Jay, what's up, buddy? No notification. Oh, man. That's not cool. I hope they're not shadow banning me again. Raphael. Hey, Rob, I hope you're feeling better. What if people are scaring the paper hands to panic sell so they buy low? Oh, of course. Of course. Today off today. Coming to support the channel. Thank you so much, Lawrence. I appreciate you, brother. Overcome in the house. Maple, yeah, looked at that. Lawrence, day off today. Nice, nice, nice. You're not sharing the screen for maybe. Yeah, I know. I realized that afterwards. But you heard what I said, right? Charmander, we got 3. Charmander, Squirtle, Pikachu. Absolutely amazing. We need Bulbasaur. Tell him, Rob. Absolutely, man. Hey, Rob, hope you're feeling better. We need you strong and fit to make us rich. Amen. Amen. Ashley, let's go, Big Rob. Looking and sounding better. See you at the top. See you at the tippy top. Hell yeah. Hey, Rob, can you check Jasmine's chart? I already checked Jasmine's chart. I already checked it. Go back. You can go back earlier in the stream. I'll show you. But I already covered Jasmine here. See? We got the textbook breakout of the falling wedge into the bull flag. We're breaking out of the bull flag right now. My target is 3 cents 1. My ultimate target is 3 cents 1 for Jasmine in the near term. Shiny Wheezing, what's up, man? Hey, everyone. This is Johnny the OG. Johnny the OG. He changed his handle. He's got Wheezing, another Pokemon. Absolutely, guys. Johnny, or should I say Wheezing, the OG member of the channel, the very first member, guys. The guy who supported me, the first one who supported this channel. He's here in the flesh, baby, repping the Pokemon. Absolutely love it, Johnny. Good to see you, buddy. Cody, hope all's well. Pretty good, man. Pretty good so far, so good. AFC watching over on X. I've come into this question halfway. It's a great one. So, what is the way out? You got to be on the Patreon, brother. You got to be on the Patreon. Blah, what's going on? Pikachu uses quick attack on Charmander. Nice. Sunday will be very, very red, and I like it. I will buy more. Pikachu pile drive Squirtle. Nice. Pikachu just woke up and chose violence today. I started to learn about, oh God, scam. Hey, Rob, I'd like to set up just shoot me a DM over on the Patreon. And I'm starting to book more one-on-ones after the weekend. Once I get my voice back, I figure I should have my voice back by then. Amazing coins. Hey, Rob, how's many full cycles do you have left before there is too many regulations? I think that we got two more solid cycles left in us. Probably by 2033 is probably going to be the last real cycle, I would say, because then there's going to be masses will be in, right? We're not going to be able to say you're early anymore after that, right? So to everyone who's here now, congratulations, right? Ditto, what's up, man? Sui and Pokemon rumor is fire. If true, yes. I am looking at that with intense eyes, brother. I love me some Pokemon. Is PNG a good hold to at least $1? PNG. Let's see. PNG. It's not on KuCoin. Let me have a look over on CoinGecko. PNG. To $1. The all-time high was $18.85. It's got really good tokenomics. It's got a really good market cap. Yeah, you know what, Eric? I do think this is a good hold to $1. Yes. Yes, I do think so. This should do very well. It's only got 538 million max supply. Half the supplies in circulation. Yeah, I do think you're a good hold to $1. Don't sell in May, don't go away. Ho! Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, brother. Rob, you have something to get off your chest. D's nuts. Nice. Got him. What a guy. What a guy. Let's get into a video here. What do we have going on today, guys? Axios. Mark Caputo says Mr. T still believes he has a measure of leverage in the tariff negotiations.
Our next guest here with his own insights into the drama inside the White House on tariffs and trade and so much more. Axios Trump White House reporter Mark Caputo, you can weigh in on this. You know, you were there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here we are on Friday. So think about where President Trump was on Tuesday compared to where you think he is mentally about all this right now.
I think mentally he's been in the same place the entire time. And one of the problems that we spend is that we don't understand that when you look at what Donald Trump wants to do with tariffs, he's been talking about stuff like this for 38 years. And that's at least 38 years. 1987 is the first time he gave a political speech in New Hampshire talking about other countries ripping us off and needing to have better trade deals. So look at him directionally, or as some people like to say in the past, for 2016, take him figuratively, not literally in some cases. So directionally, this is where he wants to go. But when it comes to the specifics and the details, the devil is sort of in them, and so is the noise. The signal is tariffs. The signal is better trade deals. But the noise is all of these specifics on the percentages. I mean, eventually, we're going to probably wind up with some sort of tariff when all of this is done. But when Trump says something like, yeah, I don't care if it's 50%, you know, that's sort of the guy on the bar stool quality of Donald Trump. I'm not saying he wouldn't do it, because the guy on the bar stool could ultimately get in a fight or do something kind of crazy. But generally speaking, he does have a circle of advisors around him, and they are trying to channel this energy into a more productive outcome. But
okay,
exactly
speak to this though, and tell me what you speak to this and tell me what you actually know. According to this timepiece, Trump is suggesting that he's in touch with President Xi. Yep. Since that interview, the Chinese government has said, we've had no talks. And they've now said that pretty vehemently. So what's really going on here?
Oh, I have absolutely no clue. I don't trust our government. I've never really trusted our leaders, but I trust other governments even less. So who's telling the truth here is anyone's guess. But again, what I would default to here is that Donald Trump wants some sort of tariffs and he wants some sort of deal. And until then, it's his world and we're living in it.
Okay, but let me ask you a different question. In terms of, and we've discussed this many times, negotiating leverage, where do you think the leverage really exists? We also were reporting this morning that Apple, considering moving its Apple phone manufacturing, at least for those phones being manufactured for import into the U.S., might be able to move to China within a year, or at least about a year and a half from now. That would, I would imagine, actually provide more leverage in some ways to the U.S. In its negotiations with China.
I can tell you this is the mood and the attitude of the White House and of Donald Trump, according to those with whom I've spoken, who have spoken to him, is that they still believe that they have a measure of leverage. They believe that China's economy still heavily relies on the United States. And when people have talked to Donald Trump, they have told me that they're struck by the disconnect or the difference in the news coverage and the coverage of the stock market, the numbers, the falling dollar, the falling number of tourists, the falling number of people who believe that the economy is getting better, and the attitude of Donald Trump, which they say is rather buoyant. They say he's having a good time. And when you talk to him, he's like, you can't believe this. This is great. Japan's coming in for a deal. South Korea's coming in for a deal. Vietnam's going to do a deal. It's going to be great. Now, is this the P.T. Barnum showman of him? Is he in denial? Or is he genuinely serious? That's one of those eternal questions with Donald Trump that, again, I can't answer. But what I could say is his team still believes that this can get done and it's going to be good. Whether they're right or not, we're going to see.
Right. Let me ask you a different question. It's a negotiating question. There's a great phrase called favored nation status. Corporations use it all the time, but it actually represents a favored nation status as in countries. To the extent that certain deals are made, maybe Japan or India comes in with one of the early deals, South Korea comes in with an early deal, it almost will set a benchmark in certain ways. And the question is whether other countries therefore then have more leverage or less leverage going forward. How do you see that?
I could see, I think it's easier for me to answer what I see as being the likeliest deals to come in first, and those are the ones you mentioned. Japan especially. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, it really loves Japan. He wanted to be ambassador to Japan if he wasn't going to be Treasury Secretary, according to the people with whom I've spoken who were familiar with the transition. And he has said, whoever comes in first gets the best deal. Now, obviously, these deals, these trade negotiations depend on nation to nation. Japan has various barriers to trade, but according to people who also represent Japan, at least one or two lobbyists with whom I've spoken, they say that they believe that things are going pretty well, and they wouldn't be surprised if something is announced soon. Now, there are, again, those high barriers to trade in Japan itself, so how that sort of moves along isn't clear. The other issue is South Korea. We've had essentially no tariffs on them anyway, so it's probably going to be easy to negotiate a deal there as well. In addition to the trade aspect of this and the tariff aspect of this, there is a global security aspect to it as well. And this is part of the mixed messaging, so to speak, that you've heard out of the White House, which is not only does Trump want better negotiations, better deals, more money to come into the U.S. Treasury from tariffs, but he also wants to isolate China. So just as there's a most favored nation status that you're discussing, there's sort of a least favored nation status in Trump's mind, and that's China. He wants to isolate China as best he can.
Very, very interesting. And to follow up on what he was talking about here, guys, as you can see, China reiterates it is not, having any tariff talks with the U.S. and says that the U.S. should stop creating confusion. So according to China, the Mr. T is lying that there is no negotiations. They're not in talks right now. But Mr. T keeps saying that they are. I don't know. Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. What else do we have here? Chris, hey Rob, I hope you're feeling better, man. Thanks for everything. If BTC drops to retest, is it possible to retest? Well, I think it's going to hold 91K, but if it does fall below 91K, then 88 would be next. But there's so much buying pressure right now. Every time it gets below 93.4, it gets bought right back up. So maybe going into the weekend, we'll see buying pressure dissipate. Maybe bulls will take the weekend off. Or maybe the bears will take the weekend off and bulls will take advantage of it and push up. Very interesting to see what happens. But there's a lot of buying pressure on Bitcoin right now. A lot of long wicks to the downside, followed by green candles. So, my guy, 100 push-ups. You're 50 minutes late. Come on. All right. Let's go back over. So what do we have here? Andrew Ross reports on the Fed's loosening against banks dealing with Bitcoin and crypto.
The Squawk Box this morning, banking regulators pulling back some U.S. cryptocurrency guidance. This is interesting, guys, because the Fed said it was withdrawing supervisory letters that said that banks should seek advance approval from authorities before engaging in crypto asset and stablecoin activities. In addition, the Fed, the FDIC, and the Office of the Controllers of the Currency pulled back statements from 2023 that urged banks to be careful when it comes to crypto-related risks. During the 2024 campaign for the White House, President Trump promised crypto investors that he would have their backs if he was reelected. In a statement announcing the latest changes, the Fed said that regulators would look into whether new guidance to support crypto asset innovation was appropriate. But it means effectively that I think a lot of those letters has scared the banking system sort of out of getting meaningfully involved in crypto. And now they're saying, do what you like.
Here's the question. I mean, because it's the Fed doing that, it's not like an executive order where it's going to get whipsawed if another administration comes in 4 years, I would assume. But again, the politicization of it probably has some things a little concerned about whether the winds would change again at some point. I guess maybe it's better because it's coming from the Fed.
Well, I think part of it's coming from the Fed, and it sounded like part of it was coming from
the administration. That's what I don't understand. This was part of the campaign promises to do these things. again, businesses just don't like getting whipsawed by changes in administrations that lead to huge changes in policy.
I don't know if this means that all of a sudden you're going to go to your local Chase on the corner and be taking Bitcoin. But you can't take Bitcoin.
Look, I guess it does feel very different. It does feel very different in that crypto is becoming much more widely accepted, and maybe if they can get more regulation that kind of cements that, maybe it would make the banks feel a little better about it.
I mean, look, we used to interview Janet Yellen, and she would always talk to you about the risks of it. Right. By the way, Jamie Dimon would talk to you about the risks of it. So I don't know. It's interesting because there are people in the banking system who still have their own views of the risks.
But I think the banking system would also like to offer their customers whatever their customers want.
Yeah,
look, Larry Fink was against it.
Yeah, Jamie Dimon, he says, here's the thing, guys. The last time Jamie Dimon was on national television calling Bitcoin and crypto pet rock, saying it was a scam, at the same time, JP Morgan was tripling their digital asset department, right? So the fact that he said, well, people like Jamie Dimon, they're scared of it and stuff. And no, they're not. No, they're not. They're buying it. They're flooding it and buying it. So don't try to fool a trickster, man. Sorry, brother. Not falling for that. Jamie Dimon likes Bitcoin. He buys it. Leo, what's up, my dude? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Bitcoin makes a strong comeback. What investment opportunities are emerging with its rise? Amid global economic uncertainty, Bitcoin has recently surged to $94,000, its highest level in months. This rise reaffirms its role as a haven for investors in response to an aggressive trade policy and rising inflation. In this context, two emerging projects are catching the crypto community's attention. BTC, Bulltog, no, I'm not talking about no meme coins. I thought this had more, sorry guys, I thought this had more to do with actually the economy. And it's just about a couple of meme coins. Screw that. We're not talking about no meme coins. We got another video to watch though. But first, before we do, shout out to the channel sponsor, Decent Self-Custody Wallet, guys. Got a fantastic DAG Constellation airdrop going on right now. 1,000 DAG airdrop. First 100 only. Only 100 people will get it. People are already rushing to buy. Submit. Get your Decent Self-Custody Wallet today, guys. Not your keys, not your coins. They're always having these kinds of awesome events. Check it out for yourselves. Use our link. Get a great deal. All right, what else do we have? Dr. Crypto says, HODL. Hell yeah, HODL. Hell yeah. All right, what else do we have? Nicholas Burns on U.S. China trade tensions. Neither economy can sustain a trade war like this.
Has been on the front lines of managing the U.S.-China relationship, and joining us right now is Nicholas Burns. He served as U.S. ambassador to China in the Biden administration and has served 6 presidents, both Republican and Democrat, in his decades-long foreign service career. He's now a professor at Harvard's Belfer Center. And Ambassador, thank you very much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
What do you think is happening? Read between the lines for us here on the conflicts as to whether or not there are negotiations that are taking place.
I think that both governments are trying to figure out how do we climb down from the triple-digit tariff battle that they're in. I think that neither economy and really neither government can sustain a trade war like this at this volume and this depth of seriousness for several months. So I would anticipate that both sides would want to reach out to each other, probably quietly, and begin the process of trying to define, is there a trade deal in the future? And I think the logic for each of them and self-interest from each of them will push them towards that. But the problem is going to be how to negotiate this, how to do it effectively, because I think it will take some time.
We just heard from this Time interview with the president that was released just in the last hour and a half or so, that the president would like to see tariffs as high as 50% a year from now, that he could see that being out there. The futures did sell off a little bit on that. We were down by about 230 points. They've come back somewhat to down 150. This was an interview that was done on Tuesday, and the messaging coming out of the White House can change pretty rapidly. when you get your arms around it, the idea of a 50% tariff, is that sustainable for the two countries versus the 145% today?
It would be enormously harmful to both economies if that's going to be the level going forward for the next couple of years. You know, China's our third largest trade partner. Our trade volume was $642 billion last year in goods and services. For China, we're the largest export market. And so 50 to 60% tariffs would have a significant cut in export in the trade balance between the two countries. There are upwards of 20 to 25 million Chinese workers who depend on making things, manufacturing, to trade with the United States. There are about 1 million Americans whose jobs depend on trade with China. So those levels, and those were the levels that candidate Trump talked about in the 2024 election, 50 to 60%, I think would be highly destructive to this relationship. And strategically, what both countries have to figure out, particularly the United States, is, do we want to see a decoupling of these two economies? In my view, that would be highly disadvantageous for both of us, for the United States especially, but also for the global economy. So no, I don't think that's a logical landing point for these upcoming negotiations.
Ambassador, here's the question, though. It's a leverage question, and it's a timing question. Clearly, we are the biggest economy in the world. I would imagine, hopefully, on a long-term basis, you would think that we would have leverage. We would have, there would be a good reason for folks to ultimately invest in us and to make a deal with us. Having said that, the short-term pressures that we're facing, the way the market works, the way our democracy works, the way voting works, puts an enormous pressure on us in certain ways to make a deal or not make a deal. Maybe you don't think so. I don't know. How do you see those pressures, and how much patience can we have versus how much patience can the Chinese have?
Well, Andrew, I think your calculation is correct. I mean, there are short-term pressures on President Trump and the United States, as there were on President Biden when he was in office. There are market pressures and political pressures here in the U.S. in our open democratic society that obviously are not impinging upon the strategy of Xi Jinping. But having said that, Xi Jinping, I think, needs a deal with the United States. His economy is slowing down. A lot of people don't think they grew by 5% GDP growth last year. It was more like 3.5 or 3.7. They have a significant problem with foreign direct investment. It was down by 32% last year. The property crisis bubble is still affecting the economy. So I think that the pressure works the other way as well. Xi Jinping needs a deal to stabilize the economy. They don't want to have a prolonged tariff war with the United States. And so that gives me a little bit of encouragement to think that both sides, logic would say, need negotiations and need some kind of a deal, not at 50% or 60% tariffs, but somewhat lower in the future. And I'd also like to say, China has been portraying itself in the last few weeks as the responsible party here. But China is not a victim. China's been a major disruptor in the international trade system for well over 2 decades now. And that's why President Biden raised tariffs on EVs, 100% last year, 11 months ago, on semiconductors, on lithium batteries. And it's understandable that the Trump administration wants to have a hard-edged policy here to try to make sure that the Chinese don't take advantage of us.
Is this a trade war that you think we should be fighting specifically and only with China?
I think the better strategy for the United States would have been not launch a tariff war against Japan and South Korea and the European Union. All those countries have essentially the same interests that we do. We're trying to protect ourselves from unfair Chinese trading practices. And had we started with those countries on our side, that's about 60% of global GDP. That would have given us enormous leverage. And right now we don't have that particular leverage because we're fighting a tariff war with our closest allies. So I think that was a tactical mistake a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I'm sorry, you said Japan, South Korea, what was the third country?
The European Union.
Oh, and the EU. So
yeah.
Is there a chance for a mulligan of sorts with this? Is there a chance to say, okay, we're going to do quick trade deals with Japan, South Korea, see who else we can work out, Canada, Mexico, and then turn around and focus on China very specifically after these new deals that President Trump can say he's gotten?
I would hope there is that opportunity. I was encouraged that the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said exactly that about 10 days ago, that they wanted to work now speedily with the Japanese, the South Koreans, and I hope with the EU, to try to have early trade agreements with them, if that's possible, to bring them over to our side. You know, the Chinese, I think, don't understand how much their dumping of manufactured products has unsettled global markets. One of the things the EU is concerned about now is if China shut out of the US market, China might try to flood the EU market with lower priced goods, dumping goods. You know, they're producing 2.5 times the Chinese domestic demand in EVs and solar panels and lithium batteries and steel and robotics. So I think actually the United States would have a lot of leverage if we could bring those allies to our side to compete with the Chinese in a very strong way at these negotiations.
Well, it sounds like it's a lose-lose situation for China. If they've been dumping this much on the market 2.5 times in all of those sectors from what they can possibly produce, in order for them to reach an agreement with us and potentially our trading allies on this, they're going to have to cut production, and that means more job loss in China. Is this a lose-lose no matter what happens for China?
Well, I think this is the pressure point on the Chinese. You know, just in the last year, a lot of different countries have raised tariffs on China. India, South Africa, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Canada, Mexico, the United States, the EU. The world is saying to the Chinese, if you think you can grow by ramping up your manufactured exports and selling them at lower prices to the rest of the world, it's not going to happen. The Trump administration should be taking advantage of this by bringing some of these other countries to our side, but you can't do that if you've launched tariff wars against our natural allies. And I think that is something that can be corrected with a lot of hard work and quick work, but it's necessary.
I agree with them. They should be a little bit more cerebral, a little bit more strategic about what they're doing. Come to terms with some of these countries, and I think that's what he's doing right now. We know that the U.S. is in talks with multiple countries, right? Double-digit countries to come to agreements with these tariffs. So they may very well play out that way. Get some of the other countries on board on your side, and have a better chance at things. So your boy finally shows up. What's up, buddy? First, what are we in 6th grade? Sticks tongue out at coins. Grateful to God, Rob. Our community's here. Your boy, my guy. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I'm glad you made it. Hola, TTM. What's up, man? What is BlockDAG? BlockDAG is like it's an alternative to blockchain, right? Theoretically, it has faster transactions, higher scalability, and improved decentralization than as opposed to blockchain. But we'll just call it an alternative to blockchain technology. There she is, Gamma Goddess. I was wondering where you were at. Happy Friday. Hope you're feeling better. A little bit. Looking forward to our open mic night tonight on the Patreon. If you haven't joined, you definitely should. Let's get this money. Absolutely. Open mic night over on the Patreon, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. The spammers have entered the chat. Holy goodness gracious. Unbelievable. I made it to the party. Absolutely. Patreon is where the real party is at, and the real money making is as well. Also, make fun place to hang out with open, like-minded people. Absolutely, man. That's the best way to do it, a guy. That's exactly it, right? Guys, listen. You surround yourself with five rich, successful people, wealthy, successful people, and surround yourself with 5 poor, excuse-driven, lazy people, right? You're going to be the 6th person in either one of those groups. Surround yourself with the type of people that you strive to be, right? They say, dress for the job you want, not the job you have, right? So come on over to the Patreon. Surround yourself with a community of people like you who want to financially succeed and make money. That's how you do it, guys. Vera, what's going on? Hello. Oh, God, you're a spammer. How are you? I'm good. Look at all these spammers in the chat. Holy smokes. Gamma Goddess came in just in time. Got quite the job ahead of you, Gamma. Sorry, guys, I'm scrolling through all of this spam now, trying to find your comments.
Holy smokes. So I apologize, guys. I can't find anybody's comments in the chat now. There's literally there's like thousands of spam comments here. I feel sorry for the mods right now having to try to get rid of all of this. Guys, if you want to get my attention, you're going to have to send your comment over in a super chat so I can find it, because I can't see anything in this. I'm sorry, man. Send your comment over in a super chat or your question so I can get to it. There's thousands of spam comments here. This is insane. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. So yeah, Bitcoin back up over 95K right now, guys. $95,100. Can we close the day there? Yeah, boy. There you go. You can find my comment if I super chat. Yeah. If you want to get my attention, send it over in a super chat, because these spam comments are just insane. I can't see anything except for like the super chats that stand out. So yeah, crazy. Gamma Goddess, holy smokes. She is just knocking it out of the park. Wow. Fantastic. Just nailing it. Good stuff. So yeah, we're sitting above 95K, guys. I want to see us close the day above 95K. That would be fantastic. Will we make a run towards 97, 98K into this little golden pocket here over the course of the weekend, or will we come back down inside this box and consolidate in this area for the weekend? Going to be interesting to see, man. Going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I just got super spammed. Yeah, crazy. Fortunately, Gamma Goddess is here and she took care of it. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Gamma. That's why you are the Gamma Goddess. So yeah, so things are looking good, guys. We'll see what happens later. Wise Mind, hope you get better. Would it help to change it to subscribers only? Well, no, because the bots, they subscribe to your channel too. It's funny because it's really funny because all of a sudden, like, you'll see your subscriber count all of a sudden will plummet like 100 people, and you'll be like, what the hell, man? What did I do something wrong? Why did 100 people unsubscribe? But as it turns out, I looked into it. It's not actually people unsubscribing. It's YouTube's algorithms going in and deleting spam and bot accounts, which automatically unsubscribes those bot accounts to your channel. So every once in a blue moon, you'll see like a dramatic drop in your subscriber count because it's YouTube terminating bots, right? So they actually do subscribe to the channel as well. She's the best. Yes, she is the best. Rith, good evening, Grandpa. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin to you. Gamma, how did you do that? I was trying. I couldn't keep up. Because she's Gamma Goddess. That's why. She can do anything. Gamma is next level. Yes, she is. She is absolutely next level. All right, guys. I got some more. I got to go rest my voice. I'm losing it pretty bad right now. Getting lightheaded and stuff. So, Rith, this is my first cycle as in crypto. Glad to learn from you. Absolutely, Rith. If you're not over on the Patreon, man, get over there, my friend. You're going to learn a lot. Gamma Goddess is awesome. Yes, Ramona, she is absolutely the best. Absolutely. She's always on the job. Otaku, my guy, my brother. Hope you get better soon. Thank you, brother. Thank you. It looks like it's going to be an otaku heavy Patreon open mic night tonight. So Gamma says, thanks for the love, y'all. Absolutely, Gamma. We couldn't function without you. Absolutely. All right, guys. So I'm going to go rest my voice a little bit. Guys, I have an important video coming out this afternoon. Make sure you watch it. It's going to be a kind of a splash of cold water, okay? So make sure you guys watch that video later today. I will see you guys a little bit later. Thank you, as always, for coming in. Thanks for being here, guys. Tolerating my voice when it's like this. I appreciate you guys. All right. God bless. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Guys, get your butts over to the Patreon. We got Open Mic Friday tonight. We're live there every day. Book your one-on-one coaching calls. Check out Descent Self-Custody Wallet down below. God bless, guys. I'll see you in the next one.